Today I'm going to cover some high-level information about human design authority types. So a little bit about me first. My name is Tiffany. I'm a human design reader, a Usui Reiki master, and a tarot enthusiast. But every good presentation needs a disclaimer. So here are my disclaimers. Human design is a tool that can support our self-discovery process, just like Myers-Briggs or Enneagram. But I want to make it really clear that no one tool should make you feel boxed in or limited, because we're all very unique and we have many different facets of ourselves, right? And so be sure to never give away your power when you're using frameworks like human design. Always rely on your intuition and trust what's right and accurate for you. Lastly, I just want to say that the information in this video is intentionally high level. There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to a body graph chart. So if you would like some customized information about your chart, consider reaching out to your favorite human design reader. So what is authority anyway? In human design, authority is the way we achieve clarity so that we can make decisions. And just think big decisions, not what am I going to eat for lunch? But think big decisions like, where am I going to live? What kind of house am I going to live in? What job am I going to choose? And so although a really well-trained human design reader can help you understand your authority type, I also recommend connecting with others who have experience living with the same authority type that you have. I highly recommend getting on Clubhouse and joining the human design chat rooms in there, because there are a lot of people in there who have all kinds of different authority types. And if you hear them share stories about how their authority type works for them, that will be incredibly valuable to you. First, emotional authority. So people who have emotional authority, if they look at their body graph chart, their solar plexus energy center is colored in. What does this mean? Essentially, it means that you have your own emotional wave that you can rely upon. How does it work? Wait until your mood is neutral or you're feeling calm, cool, and collected before you make a decision. And I'm not talking about little decisions. I'm talking about big decisions. You're not necessarily designed to know in the now. You're designed to allow space for the yes or no's to come to you. So getting to know your pattern or the cycle of your emotional wave can be incredibly helpful to you and others around you. Taking time to just sleep on it before making the decision, and really don't make decisions when you're feeling desperate for an answer or solution. Allow space and time for that yes or no to come. Next is sacral authority. Essentially, sacral authority means listening to your gut responses. So you will have clarity in the now when you're really kind of tuned in and checked into your gut responses. Your gut is going to give you a clear decision based on your excitement level. So when we're talking about excitement level, I'm talking not what you're thinking, but I'm talking what is your visceral or physical response of excitement. For some people, that can feel like butterflies. For others, it can be sitting up straighter in your chair or a tingling down your spine. Taking time to really figure out how your gut responses show up for you is definitely worth your time investment. Another thing to note is that you may have a gut response to do something or to not do something, and you can't always explain why. It might feel right and you don't know why. It might feel wrong and you don't know why. Really getting comfortable with listening to those gut responses, even if you can't explain why, is going to be key for you. Lastly, the sacral doesn't really respond well to open-ended questions. So anytime you are working with or in partnership with somebody in your life who has sacral authority, if you can break down questions into more of a binary question, like, do you want to do X or do you want to do Y? That person in your life it's going to be much easier for them to tune into their sacral and see how they feel about X or Y. Leaving an open-ended question is going to probably make them seem a little wishy-washy because they're just not going to be sure. Splenic authority. So the energy of this authority is an instant knowing in the now that something is right or wrong for you. You're likely not going to really understand why. You're not going to be able to logically understand it, but it's definitely something that hits in the moment and in the present. It can often show up viscerally, like the sacral response, where, say, maybe your body is pulling you back into the house because you forgot something, as a really good example. But when something's not right for you, you're going to have this instant vibration that might be experienced as unease, knowing that, whatever this course of action is that you're taking is maybe not right or safe for you. Some practical tips for people who have splenic authority. First of all, this energy center is kind of like a cat. Developing trust is important. Cats often won't let you pet them until you've really developed a good relationship with them. So if you have splenic authority, I highly recommend really tuning into the present and listening to your splenic energy center, because building that trust and letting it know that you're listening is going to be key. Also, be aware that your body might be using the language of fear to communicate whether or not something is right for you. So, for example, if something is a yes, it might be like an excited, nervous feeling that you experience, versus if something is a no, you might feel icky and uneasy and also have some nervousness wrapped up in it. So lastly, the key with splenic authority is just really being in the present, acknowledging when you get those splenic hits, and avoid overthinking and talking yourself out of the yes or no that your spleen is telling you. Ego authority. So the energy of ego authority is more of this: if I want it to happen, I'm going to make it happen. The ego or heart center is all about willpower and motivation, and it really has a voice in and of itself. It's the voice is, do I selfishly want this thing or not? Will this thing or this situation help me feel like I'm more in my power, even if I can't explain why intellectually? Practical tips for people with ego authority. Pay attention to how this authority speaks to you. It's going to look different for everybody. Also, recognize that you might have a heart pull. You might feel pulled towards things. Your heart might feel pulled towards things that are a yes, and you might feel this kind of pressure or pushback on things that are a no. And also, it's really important for you to just talk about the things that you really want to do, and then pay attention to the things that come out of your mouth. Pay attention to the things that you say, because by doing this and speaking out loud about the things that you want, you're going to help bypass your mind center that wants to rationalize, solve problems, and turn things around. So again, an energetic yes for you is my heart being pulled or drawn to this thing in question? And that energetic no is going to feel like you're being pulled away from the thing. G-center authority. So the energy of this authority is kind of interesting in the sense that it can be this subtle but intense inner knowing that something is or isn't right for you. You may not even be able to put your finger on why. And people with this authority often find themselves saying, I just know. I don't know why I know. I don't know how I know, but I just know that this thing is right for me or that this thing is not right for me. So when that voice comes up for you, really listen to it and trust in it. Also, only you will be able to really understand or recognize this knowing. So the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself is to really get to know and understand how this voice shows up for you. Practical tip for you. If you have G-center authority, it's very likely that you have a strong sense of direction and clarity when it comes to your thoughts. So it was really a good idea for you to find a sounding board, someone that you feel safe and that you trust, that you can talk to and really speak the things that you want or the direction you want to go in, and speak it out loud to that other person. Again, this is that process of, if you're speaking the things out loud and you're hearing yourself talk, you can kind of bypass that mind center that's going to want to rationalize things or get logical and maybe talk you out of things. And so, to be clear, if you are talking to somebody and you are using them as a sounding board, you're not necessarily looking for their advice. It's really more about the process of you being able to put your thoughts into words and hearing yourself speak. Mental authority. So if you have this authority, you also have, if you're looking at your body graph chart, a bunch of open centers or white centers below this ajna center that you see in the purple. What that means is you're taking in information from the environment. So the goal of this authority is how to leverage the thoughts in your mind, your razor sharp observations, your opinions and thoughts, how to balance that with what you're feeling and taking in from the environment. And then how do you, as having this authority, feel in your body what is the right decision for you? So the key to this is, taking into consideration the thoughts and ideas that you have and bouncing them off of somebody that you trust and speaking them out loud. So finding a trustworthy sounding board that allows you to express your thoughts out loud. And as you're speaking, what you're going to be doing is you're going to really kind of connect to your body and say, okay, how do I feel about this decision that I'm trying to make, or this choice that I'm trying to make, as I speak out loud about it? So again, this authority, while it involves the mind center, it's not necessarily about making decisions with your mind. It's about leveraging those thoughts and ideas through your voice and then feeling in your body what is the correct thing to do for you. So the last authority type is no inner authority. And this is a very unique and rare authority type. And we only see it in energy types called reflectors. Reflectors, as you can see here, don't have any energy centers defined in their body graph chart. And so when that happens, we have no inner authority. So for this authority type, these people don't necessarily have these moment-to-moment strategies that are consistent for them when it comes to, gaining clarity to make decisions. It's more about living with their own set of rules and following the beat of their own drummer. The energy of this authority can be very ethereal because it's more aligned with the moon and the lunar cycle than it is with the sun and its cycle. So how does this authority work? So basically, answers of yes or no are not going to come in the now. Ideally, these people are allowing themselves some time. Ideally, in a perfect world, they're allowing themselves the next 28 days of a lunar cycle before they really make a decision about the thing in question. And just as a reminder, this is referring to big decisions, not, small things like what are you going to eat. It's more like decisions like, should I move across the country, right? And so when a reflector is talking to other people and using them as a sounding board, they're able to really kind of tune into their open centers and access information that way as they're speaking through their voice. So the key for you is to also really find somebody that you trust that you can use as a sounding board. Again, you're not seeking advice from them. You're really just needing this opportunity to speak out loud and just see how things feel in your body. Tips for anyone with no inner authority. If you can't wait a full lunar cycle for a decision, respond with decisions that buy you time. If somebody's pressing you for a decision, say, hey, can I have 28 or 48 hours? Also, remember, you don't need to wait for a lunar cycle to create things that you want to create. Lastly, don't isolate yourself during this time. So if you're making a big decision, it's really beneficial to you to have the flow of energy from others and the environment to kind of help you gain clarity. Because again, you have all of these open centers and these places of wisdom where you're taking in wisdom from the outside world, and you really want to leverage that wisdom as you're making the decision that you need to make.